Imagine not being chosen to be in the nation's group, only to form another one that's way more successful, has way better music, and a bangin' debut album. This is our track by track through Liberty X's album, Thinking It Over.
Woo! Guys, we are so close to 4,000 subscribers on YouTube. So thank you so much for joining the CCTV crew on our YouTube channel. It's special to us. Thank you. And if you're on a podcast platform, make sure you give us that rating and the follow because it really helps us grow and get into the algorithm.
Yes, and a big special shout out to our Patreon producers, Emily, George, Lily, Louie, Julianne, Janelle, Shaquille, Jonathan, Jasmine, Darius, Red, and we actually have one new one as well, which is brand new as of this recording, so let me just make sure I have your name correct.
Yes. Oh my gosh. You know what? Every time I get ready to do something, a new person pops up and I'm like, who's that?
Which is amazing.
It's
Thank you
amazing.
all so much. Jesse. Hello, Jesse.
Hello, Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Yay.
Hey, Jesse.
We're so excited that you're here. Let us
Absolutely.
know. We sent you a DM already, so yeah. We're excited to learn about why you decided to become a producer and what you want to hear from us. And if you would also like to help us choose episode topics, you can join us at patreon.com/cctvpops. And you can choose episodes, like I mentioned, because Ren, our producer, actually
Yes.
suggested Liberty X. So here we are.
Awesome. I
Yeah.
love that we have such active members. All
Yeah.
right, guys. So, Thinking It Over. It was originally titled To Those Who Wait, and it is their debut album. And it was eventually retitled to Thinking It Over everywhere except for Japan. And it was released in the UK in May of 2002. Wow, many, many moons ago.
Mm-hmm.
The album was supposed to be released a few months earlier, but due to a legal dispute over their name, their group name, it was delayed.
Yes, and peaking at number 3 in the UK charts and making an impact across Europe, the album was very successful and spawned 5 singles and a nationwide tour, which we actually watched together.
Yes, this is
Last
true.
time you came over to my place, we had a really great time. It was a good show.
Yes,
So we will
yes.
now go track by track to discuss the production, vocals, and lyrics and give our ratings for each song.
Mhm.
And please note, viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
Dun-dun-dun. Okay, getting right into the album cover of Thinking It Over. It features the 5 members of Liberty X in a V formation wearing black outfits. I mean, they look like they're ready for the club. They look like they're ready for life.
Yeah, it kinda looks like they're, like, in a basement or something, though. Like, if you look at the
Oh, yeah.
background,
Yes,
like,
yes.
they're in a bunker. Like, what is happening?
The underdogs are coming up to the surface.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. They do look really cool, though. I love that Kelly is kinda right in the front because she does have
Yeah.
kind of the most distinctive voice, I would say, out of the 5.
Mm.
Uh, and then, yeah, they're all look very confident.
This is very true. I will say that I'm quite surprised that they had a black lead, like a black center, essentially.
Mhm.
I mean, but it's Britpop. It's a little bit different than out here. I feel like if it was American group, she would have been like somewhere in the back. But I think it looks nice. She is the only one that is there. So I think that is another reason why this group stood out to me. When you showed me them, I was like, oh, she's the only one. Oh, she's singing the most lines. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
So I think it's interesting for sure.
Mhm. Let's get into the music then. First up, we have Thinking It Over, which was done by Tony and Kelly of Liberty X, Stephen Hart, Mary Susan Applegate, Pete Devereaux, and the Wide Boys, also known as Jim Sullivan and Eddie Craig. And this was released originally as a white label promo due to the band's negative reputation that was pushed by the media, and the group wanted the music to speak for itself. The
Mm.
single eventually peaked at number 5 in the UK singles chart upon its release in September 2001.
Ooh, number 5 is a good number.
It is.
Okay. All right. This one is interesting. Right out the gate, the title track lays it down. The
Yes.
Liberty X Manifesto, slinky, mid-tempo, and effortlessly smooth. I feel like this song, it's got this funky bass line, this slight garagey beat, and it feels a lot more mature than your average pop debut. The
Yeah.
production is layered with these vocoder effects here and there, nothing too crazy. And there's a groovy synth line that feels like very early. I don't want to say Timbaland, but maybe not that. Maybe like Artful Dodger and Craig David together. And All Saints, if they were produced by Artful Dodger, I think just because of the harmonies and the way the chorus is kind of, the hook is like catchy, but it's restrained, the way like
Hmm.
Shaznay might kind of deliver something. So I think it's really cool. I will say, I don't know why, but every time I try to spell out their name, I fail. I don't know what this is. The L to I to the B to the I can't
Yeah.
do it. Even now, I can't do it, but I love it. I love it. Apparently, I'm illiterate. Apparently. But yeah, I can't do it. Hang on. L to the I to the B to the E to, okay, I got it. I got it. R to the T Y
Did you?
R I.
Okay, there you go. Okay. I was like,
Yeah.
you didn't finish it before you said you
Yeah.
got it.
I know, but that's the part where I usually fall apart. That's
Oh,
the part where
okay.
I fall apart. I think the conversational lyrics are great. I can't think of a single set of friends that haven't talked about a significant other or like a potential lover with friends. Like we all do it.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have like these multiple perspectives delivered with catchy melodies and it's supplemented by the harmonies. So I like it is because I'm a thinking it over kind of girl. Like give my ass time to figure out if I like you or not. Like relax, chill out. Like give me time. So I like this one.
Yes. Yeah, the production's really cool. Like, it does have all those influences you said, and it does just have, yeah, it really is just the perfect example of this
Mm,
kind of UK garage tinged pop R&B thing that was quite big at the time.
yes.
And just that mix of the acoustic guitar with the UK garage kind of snappy beat is just such a good sound. Like, I'm amazed. I mean, it's still around, like, it's never fully left.
Mhm.
Uh, but I'm amazed that more Western music and even K-pop and stuff hasn't used it more, actually,
Oh, yeah.
because it's just so cool. But yeah, I do often say that with Liberty X, what differentiates a lot of their music from other pop groups and of other co-ed groups as well
Mhm.
is that they do take advantage of the female male dynamic in
Yes.
a lot of their songs. And this one, you do get both perspectives and you get more than just the female male. You, like you said, you get the, Kelly kind of being the one kind of not sure, and the other two girls being like, oh my gosh, stay away. And then you have Kevin just being like, he's just trying to defend
Girl,
himself a little
I
bit.
like you. Like, what's good?
Yeah.
What the
Forget
heck?
my past.
Yes.
And then Tony, he doesn't get any leads in this, but his harmonies are super prominent. It's like he's just supporting his friend because he's defending himself to this
He's like,
woman.
"Nah, he's a cool guy. He's a cool guy, I promise."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's fun, and I like that neither side really gives. Like the boys aren't pushing too hard, and
Oh,
the
yeah.
girls are not letting themselves get too swayed by what Kevin is singing either. They're like, I'm thinking it over. Give me
Yeah.
time. So I just think as a whole, the storytelling of it, like you said, is really great.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it is just such a cool track. What do you think of the music video, though?
The music video with the the multiples of them.
Not much of a budget here.
You know what? No.
Hmm.
But I mean, it's one way to get people to remember your face. When people one way to get people to remember like the group as a whole, because it is strange to see multiples of any person, but let alone five. There's about like about 50, 11 people in the screen altogether. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you were to add it all up, I think it's simple. They look cool and they look sophisticated, and I think that's very important considering who their competition was, their direct competition. Hearsay. So it's good that they had like the sleek, cool, you know, um, was it like a loft kind of
Yeah,
studio vibe?
penthouse
Penthouse, yeah,
situation.
yeah. So it makes them look a lot cooler. The black, the sleek club outfits, even though they never leave the house. Like that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's like always a vibe, always.
Yeah, I mean, look, the whole kind of B-roll of the New York skyline,
Yeah, okay.
and then the fact that you really only ever see one corner of this living room, like, it was just very obvious that it was not a real place, you know what I mean? I guess the shot of the girls lying down on the couch and kind of the
Yeah,
high shot over them
yeah.
was maybe the most
The
interesting
highlights.
one. Yeah, because otherwise it's not much happens here.
No,
Yeah, at least give them a different corner to stand in,
I'm crying. For
at some point.
continuity, no. They said for continuity, so we're good.
And the performances, they initially are quite funny. That dance routine is
Oh,
horrible.
yeah.
I
It's
thank the
rough.
Lord it got better through their career because yeah, it was rough with like
The
just the
bouncing, yeah.
swaying and they're just like walking back and forth. I was just like, oh, this
Yeah.
is so awkward. But they
It was
sounded pretty good.
And I think that's what's important.
Yes,
You
of course.
can't bop your way to your bop your way to the top. But, whoever choreographed this should be ashamed. Or not, they got a check. So go ahead, do your thing.
Hey, I
Get your check.
guess.
Get your
I
check.
guess. Oh man, but this is such a strong start to a very strong album. I would
Yeah.
say this is
Yeah.
definitely a 10 for me.
Yes, I agree. This is a 10. Up next is Just a Little, and this was done by Michelle Escoffery and George Hammond Hagen, along with John Hammond Hagen of The Big Pockets. Just a Little was originally written for Anastasia, but Liberty X member Michelle heard the track during a songwriting session and immediately asked for it. And this was released as the group's third single in May 2002 and became the group's biggest hit, hitting #1 in the UK and hitting various charts all over the world. And this song won Best British Single at the 2003 Brit Awards and is still regarded as one of the best 2000s British pop songs.
Oh, it's so good.
So
I tell everyone about this song. Like whenever anyone mentions
good.
or asks me about any pop songs that are amazing but did not make it in the US, this is
Mm.
always near the top of that list because I think
Yeah.
it's just a perfect pop song. Like every single element of it is catchy, like from the instrumental, down, down, that like
Yeah.
electric, that kind of guitar staccato
Yeah.
kind of strum. Just that initial sexy, like everyone immediately knows the song the second they hear that.
Mhm.
And then, of course, the chorus itself is great.
Yeah.
And there's all these little iconic moments like Michelle's whispering and breathy talking all over it.
Yeah.
Uh, Kevin's part is like, oh, it just brings it up a whole other level there as
Yeah.
well. Like every single moment of it is just like pretty perfect, I would
Yeah.
say. And I do love that there is this tension that permeates the entire song that just never fully gets relieved, I would say. Like
Yeah.
they're constantly asking for a little bit more and they never actually get it,
Yeah.
which I think is interesting, kind of keeps your attention.
Mhm.
Uh and yeah, Kelly and Jessica leading the verses. I love their dynamic
Yeah.
actually because they
Yeah.
complement each other very, very well because they're very, very different
Yes.
in tone. Uh, and they execute it really well. It's slinky, it's sexy, but then it's also they're kind of frustrated in that second verse as well. And then Kevin, like I said, like him on that bridge is
Oh, yes. So good.
such a good moment for him.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I could praise this song every day. Like I really all my friends will know this song just because of me, I think.
That's hysterical. That's a very good song. I can hear Anastasia singing this one for sure, her raspy voice. Totally hear it. But I'm glad that Liberty X got it. And yes, I also have the sexy everything. Y'all, my voice is gone, but I can still sing. Let's go, especially if it's Liberty X. But yeah, I like that part. It's very interesting to kind of hear that and then have Kelly talk about how a love interest. Wow, I'm having a stroke. And then hear how Kelly thinks that someone's so innocent because they're like, not really approaching them the same way that she would approach them.
Yeah.
And I think that's very good to have the girls. I think it's very good to have the girls take charge in this scenario because the assertiveness and the approaching, like the whole "come on, you're so hot," and it would not. I don't think it would feel the same if it was a guy singing it. Like if it was
Yeah.
Tony and Kevin, it would have been like, okay, get away from me. But because you have these two women with great voices confidently approaching the song, it sounds so much better. Um, Kevin and Michelle on the bridge, yum, love that, love that, love that, love that, love it, love it, love it. It's super slinky, it's ridiculously cool. And I think it has a good balance between the R&B, the pop, and the club. Like it feels like the kind of track that Mystique could have gotten as well. Like it's just so
Mm,
like mm, attitude and sass and like smecks. It's cute. But
yes.
no smecks because they wanted something, whatever that something was. She's like, yeah, I like it. It's a nice little teasing track. I like it.
Yes. And I love the music video,
That
the
video's so
whole
funny.
kind of spy themed
Yes.
situation. I believe they said it's based on a movie, but I forget what the name of the movie was. Um, but yeah, it's super effective. Love the rubber cat suits. The
Oh, the
canes are
latex?
instantly memorable.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love like it's just so silly. All of their activities, like Jessica's like scaling a wall in her heels at one point. And then at the end, they just lose the diamond and they just break character, which I think was pretty funny. But yeah, they're killing it. They look great. And yeah, just a very, very memorable concept for sure.
Yes, indeed. The latex is what stands out to me. And the pimp canes, boy, those little those little canes, that's a fire prop to have, hands
Mm.
down. Chris, you and I should do the routine. Like just grab the broomsticks and just go, word.
Ooh.
See, I'll do Kelly and then you can do Tony because he was giving in the video. He every
Oh,
time
he
I was on the
was.
screen, he was like, I'm not gonna look at the camera.
Smizing.
Yes, he was living. He was the living. But yeah,
Yes. Also, we had also watched that same night that you came over to watch the concert. We also watched the
uh-huh.
Pepsi Silver Cliff
Oh yes.
variety show with Michelle and her crutches. And we
Yes.
have to give props because Michelle, she
She
used those crutches
she
and
had
she
a
did the routine.
she had that arm, the arm crutches. I should not laugh, but it was so funny because she was like, "Hey guys, I have myself playing some football." Like, girl, what are you doing? You have a show the next day. Oh man.
Oh man. But yes, perfect pop song. This is also a 10.
Yes, this is a 10. This is like it's unfortunate because it's set the standard so high already.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Stress.
Next, we have Doin' It, which was done by John McLaughlin, Steve Dewberry, and Steve Hart. And this was released as the group's second single in December 2001 and peaked at number 14 in the UK singles chart. So, not as successful. It was
Oh
kind of an
yeah.
awkward time because they had the legal battle over their name.
Who wanted it?
There was another group that already was named Liberty.
Man, please.
Yeah, yeah.
What are
Anyway,
they?
what do you think of Doing It? How is it compared to the two singles around it for you?
Hmm. I think it's not bad. I think it's interesting to have the two guys now being the main voices that you do hear. So I
Yeah.
can understand some people being like, "Who is this?" Because when you listen to it, you're like, "Who is this?" You know, seriously, think about it. Like, imagine
Yeah.
you heard these two singles and these ladies have been leading the charge, and then suddenly he's like, "Liberty X," and you hear dudes, you're like, "I ain't asked for this. Bring back the ladies." I think it's a good idea because everyone in this group can sing. Everyone in this group can perform. So they have an opportunity to do it. The guys are holding the verse down.
Oh, yeah.
It does suck that it didn't get like a lot of love because I think the way it is, it maybe because it's a little bit too R&B-ish. I don't know. Something about it does definitely sound different
Mhm.
from the bookends that are the other singles. I think it's just a little bit more I don't wanna say AC, but it is giving a little bit adult contemporary. Something about it
Mm.
just feels a little less, like, fun, cool in the club. You can't really shake your booty to this one, and I think that kind of is like, mild turn off for some people. I like the song, though. Like, having someone doing it for you is a flex. Like, the dating pool is apparently full of pee. I don't know. But, like, this song this song talks about how a person moves and behaves in an addictive way. Like, oh
Yeah.
yes. Like I love the production style and the pop. Like this style of pop is like the orchestral hits and the guitar strums. Like I don't know who created this like sonic in pop, but thank you because I'm like addicted to it. It's so bad. I can't get if I hear it, I'm like, it's a good song already.
Yeah.
It's so bad. Like it's easy. I'm so easy. I think my favorite part though is probably the bridge. It's so simple, but the doing it, doing it, doing it. The harmonies there so satisfying, and it really does like kind of punctuate the meaning of what they feel. So I think overall, it's not a bad song. I think they just got it's a short stick. Yeah, not a bad
Yeah.
song. They just had the short stick on this one.
Yeah, I think it's a good song. Yeah, I don't think it's as good as the other two bookends, like you said, but I
No.
think it holds its own. Like the
Yeah.
melody's pretty great. There is a warmth to it,
Hmm.
and it's quite an even vocal distribution. You do get all five of them here,
Yeah.
and they all sound really good. And then that chorus blend is so full,
Yeah.
and you really hear the mix of all five of their voices together.
Yeah.
And yeah, that bridge is so cool. There's so many things going on in it. There's that doing it too. But then there's like Kevin like wailing over it. And then there's Michelle like doing this kind of like sultry thing
Yeah.
over it too. Like it's like a lot, but it climaxes it well, I think.
Mm,
Um, so yeah, I enjoy it, but I can see, like you said, there is something about it that doesn't hit you quite as quickly as thinking it over or just a little. And I don't think the music video helped
oh my God.
because that video is not. it.
That was
Uh,
so boring,
yeah,
so
the
dry.
lighting was good. Like I like how it felt kind of hot and humid and sweaty a little bit. Like
Yeah.
I was just watching White Lotus this morning because it just started, and it has that same kind of vibe to it.
Okay,
Where everything's
valid.
just kind of like humid.
Yeah.
But then all the effects are so odd, like all that freeze framing and the zoom ins on the dancers, and some of the scenes with the dancers are a little awkward. And there's like a 2-second shot of a group scene where they're like
Yeah.
awkwardly just like standing there, and then you never see that again. So they're never all together other than that one tiny moment. And the video just does nothing for the song.
Yeah, no, I don't I think the issue is, like, they're supposed to be in some, like, Latin American city, but,
Right.
like, it's too pensive looking for a song about being attracted to someone, and, like, you're so thirsty and you want them so bad, but you're like, "I guess I want you. Uh-huh. I'm laying on this hammock. I guess I want you. I'm sitting on this bench." Well,
No, but
night
even when they are like vibing with these extras, there's like no real chemistry
that's
or
what I'm saying.
heat.
I was
Yeah,
getting ready to
yeah.
say, "I'm at the club. I guess I want you." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they look great, but meh. So that did not help either. You're right. You're so right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the performances are really good though. They sang live quite a few times, and the choreo is much better,
Oh my god,
much
yes.
better.
Yes.
The boys still do a little awkward little bob, but it's okay. And that harmony, that chorus harmony, like that would have convinced me already. Like if I had never heard "Thinking It Over" and I was just tuning into Top of the Pops, and I
Yes.
saw them do that, I would have been like, "Oh, okay, I'm
Okay.
here.
Yeah,
I'm here
right.
for this."
Respect,
Yeah,
respect. Okay, what do you give it?
I'll go 8.5.
I'll give this one a 8 and 8.
Okay.
Up next is Wanting Me Tonight, and this was written by all 5 members of Liberty X, Michelle Escoffery, and KG. Ah, KG, you've seen that name before?
We have
All Saints. Guys, speaking of All Saints, we have reviewed both of their albums or, like, the
the
debut
first
and
2
this
albums.
the
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
my bad, I apologize. My maybe you can you imagine? That's where it stopped. I mean, that's where the drama started, but,
Mm.
we had first album and second album, so make sure you definitely go check it out on the podcast platform or on YouTube. Either way, we have them, so check them out. But yes, so this track was originally planned to be the 3rd single from the album before Just a Little was chosen.
Yeah.
Wow. How things change. How things
Yeah.
change.
I mean, I think it could have been a single. Obviously, it's not as good as Just a Little, but it could
Mhm.
have been a single later on. I mean, I could say that about a lot of this album, to be fair.
True.
Uh, but yeah,
True.
I like this one. It's sexy. There's a fun production style to it. There's a
Mhm.
groove to it. There's a slinkiness to it.
Yeah.
And I like the kind of staccato keyboard hits
Oh, yes.
throughout it.
Yes,
Uh,
totally.
But yeah, this was a really fun one to sing along to. I think the vocal execution is so good. And
Mhm.
I love that throughout all these songs on this
Mhm.
entire album, honestly, throughout their whole discography, they don't have a real formula with the vocal
Ooh.
distribution. Because you
Yes.
get that with Steps, and, S
Yes.
Club was basically, only Joe singing the majority anyway.
Yeah.
But, with Steps, it was like, okay, Faye sings the first verse, Claire sings the second verse. Like, it was always kind of very typical.
Yeah, yeah,
Liberty
totally.
X, it never is typical.
Yeah, I
They've
agree.
all gotten to sing the first verse. They've all gotten to sing a pre-chorus. They've all gotten to sing a bridge, and you kind of
Mhm.
never know where it's going.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. And
Yes.
in this case, Jessica singing those pre-choruses, her
Mhm.
tone is so good. It's
Yeah.
so smooth, and it's quite versatile and really fits this kind of slinky R&B tinged stuff really well. And everyone is pretty much singing with this kind of breathier, kind of sexier tone
Yes.
anyway.
True.
Uh, so yeah, I think this one's a highlight on this album. Oh, I also need to shout out all those
Hmm.
ad libs at the end, because
Oh,
again, we get
yeah.
almost all of them get to do some ad libs here too.
Oh,
Love that.
yes. I guess this is what happens when you have, the members of your group write the songs. Wow, who'da
Yeah,
thunk?
there you go.
Who'da thunk it?
Yep.
Wow. So yeah, I think with this one, Liberty X is leaning into that late night R&B, got the smooth harmonies, the sultry production with the little plucky um keys that sound like Tom and Jerry. It gives me cat and mouse. I'm gonna say Tom and Jerry, not to be like kind of goofy, but it gives like chase me, lead me.
Yes.
Ooh, yes. So Kelly takes the lead here, which I think is nice as well. Um, showcasing the she has a good emotion. She's good at emoting well. But it doesn't sound like super dramatic, which I appreciate. And like you said, Jessica sounds really good too. I think
Yeah.
the female vocalists in this group, it is so easy to kind of like get lost in the sauce as a female in a female like in a girl group, but because this is co-ed, they sound different, but they all complement each other really well, which is
Mhm.
important. You can't just be like, oh yeah, she sounds like this. Yeah, but I sound like this. Girl, you don't fit in this group. Like so it's good that they kind of they all match very well. I feel like the song itself feels like a distant cousin to Destiny Child's Writing on the Wall era. It just feels like because I think the Oz, let me stop singing, but I think the Oz
Yes.
throughout is something that Destiny Child could have done, would have done. Um, I also have in my notes that it's very smexy and straightforward, and that the vocal distribution is solid. So yeah, I feel exactly the same way as you. I feel like this is a solid song. Even when you were talking about it, I was singing the song in my head. So yeah,
Mhm.
I like this one for sure, and it could have been a single. I agree. They could have did
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the tour performance is great too, like the way they separated the girls and the boys. And you do have that kind of cat and mouse kind of thing that you were just saying.
Yeah.
Um, and then they all just step back and let the dancers take over so they can
Oh yes.
sing the Oz live.
Yep.
We love that.
So look at that. So dancing with their whole body.
Okay, so I give this one a 9. How about
Yeah,
you?
I give this one a 9 as well. Okay, I have to think about it. Okay, 9.
Okay.
I'm trying to think about too many point fives.
Yo, my scores are high for this album, spoiler alert.
You're right. No, yeah,
It's
you're
a
right.
strong album, yes. Okay,
Yeah.
moving on to Got to Have Your Love. And this was done by Curtis Mantronic, Bryce Wilson, Johnny D. Rodriguez, Rod Gammons, and Nick Keynes. And this is actually a cover of the 80s track by American group Mantronics featuring Wondrous. And the song was released as a single in September 2002 and peaked at number 2 in the UK singles chart. And the music video was filmed in Jamaica.
Jamaica, Jamaica.
Hey. Okay, so did you know the original of this song?
Surprisingly, no. But something about it did sound familiar to me.
Mm,
It definitely had like that old school co-ed, not co-ed, that old school kind of like R&B vibe that was very popular.
yes, I'm looking at the chart positions here. So it
Yeah.
did very well in the UK. It hit number 4 in the UK, but in the
Mm,
US, it peaked at number 82 on the Billboard Hot 100. And there was apparently a hot black singles chart,
yep. The
and
black
that and
singles
this
chart.
was
Yep.
number 26.
Yep.
Yes.
What an awkward name for a category. Glad we changed that.
Yes.
But yes, I think because maybe it was a UK based kind of thing, it wasn't something that was gonna pop out. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
it's not like a Sanford and Ash kind of thing. But I will say after listening to the original, I think the song is a great choice for them. It fits the group's overall sound of the album thus far. Love, attraction, and wanting to create a connection. And honestly, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like this sounds exactly like the original, but the harmony but the harmonies do take it up a notch, and having the guys in the group really makes everything sound more full and keeps the
Yes.
feelings expressed in the song feel mutual, as opposed to like someone like pleading for someone's attention. It feels like a mutual vie for the affection. So I appreciate that for sure. Kelly and Kevin's harmonies in the second verse.
Mm,
Until my dying day, hey,
uh-huh.
come through. Come through.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I have a lot of the same notes. I had never heard the original before we did this review. I knew it was a cover, but I never, bothered to actually go and listen to it. But yeah, it's funny. The dun 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 dun. It's like
Yeah.
literally the
The
same.
same.
But
Wild.
they did make it a little bit more bright, right? They added
Yeah.
like the bass line's a little funkier. There's some guitars and kind of just more things going on in the back. A lot of
Yes.
twinkles and sparkles and stuff.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
But yeah, props to whichever A&R found this random song for them, I would
Hmm.
say.
Yeah.
Because yeah, I pretty much have the same notes as you, that the harmonies are really what makes their version elevate the song. Because the chorus is
Yes.
quite repetitive. Gotta find a way to get into your heart.
Kinda
Just
got
over
to
and over
have your
again.
love. I
Yeah.
got you. Hey.
Um, so having all of the layers and stuff,
Yeah.
and having them alternate between Kelly and Kevin, and kind of singing each line kind of a little differently each time around was definitely helpful. I also love that Michelle has suddenly turned into like the Lisa of the group, where she just gets to whisper and talk over
I'm in
everything.
tears because
And
yes.
Tony gets a little too. Got to have your love or
I'm
whatever.
in tears.
Uh,
Yes. So accurate.
Yes. And the music video, I mean, It's
Oh,
literally, okay, we've now had a successful single. So now fly us out to a beautiful location and we'll also film a music video for you there on vacation.
that's hilarious. The video was okay,
It
I
was
will say.
okay. It was okay. Not much
It's
happens.
no, except them like, looking hot. I think Jessica looks so smoking in her outfit. Oh my gosh, she's a baddie.
Yeah,
They
the
they all
girls
look
are
good.
looking great.
They
I mean, you could clearly tell that a man probably directed this because those boys, they
yes,
what were they wearing?
go like shadows.
They're wearing like black or like
Yeah,
full pants
no
and long
linens,
sleeves.
no
Yeah,
linens
no
whatsoever.
linens. I was like, okay, if you had someone with a different gaze come in here,
Yeah.
they would be giving the boys, they'd be showing them off a little bit more.
Yes. Oh my God. They looked hot. I mean, like not like Jessica Michelle hot. They look like hot because they're wearing all that black.
They were sweating hot.
Yes, swear to
Yeah.
God. Oh my, I loved Kelly's outfit with the go-go boots and the shorts.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, what a look. So yeah, there was moments where I was like, "Ooh, yes, ooh, yes." But overall, meh. Meh.
Yeah.
Because what the heck?
Yeah.
Did nothing
Um,
for the song.
Also, I assume they have a new choreographer at this point, unless this thinking it over guy improved a lot.
Take it over.
But this has some decent choreo. There's a lot of footwork and like a lot
Yeah.
of like grooves and stuff. It- all they needed was some more formation changes, and this would be such a perfect like pop routine.
Yeah, yeah, I
So
agree.
I was impressed with
It was
that.
so funny. Thinking it over, guys, crazy. Crazy work. Okay, so I gave this one a 9.5. I kinda
Oh,
wanted to give it to, Wanting Me Tonight, I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think this one I can give one out now, I can give one out. I like this one.
okay. I'll do a 9.
Okay,
Yes.
respect, respect. Up next is No Clouds, and this was done by Mushtag and Jessica, Kelly, Kevin, and Tony of Liberty X. I think my first encounter with the song was with the acoustic version, like the tour version,
Yes, on tour, yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. This is when they brought that little sister out?
Yes, Kevin's sister, yeah. Okay, yes, no clouds. Okay, so we finally have our first kind of more slightly slower moment here, more mid-tempo-y.
Uh-huh.
The song is very happy. I
Mhm.
think they mentioned on that concert performance that they like just were outside one day and it was really sunny and they were all just in a good mood.
Yeah.
And you could feel that. Like it does feel like a bunch of friends like having a picnic or something at the park or at the beach or
Picnic.
something.
At
Yeah.
the picnic.
Yeah. And yeah, I appreciate that the verses and chorus lyrics are not too cheesy. Like
Mm.
it could have gone that way very easily,
Oh,
but they kind
okay.
of used this angle of like there's a lot of negative crap going on in our lives, but now's the time just like letting that go and enjoying life at this point. So it's
Oh.
almost like they're at like the last stage of grief or something and they're just like ready to move on from whatever they've been going through in life. So I think having that as kind of the like overlying story kept it from being too like kids song, you know? Yeah.
Mm.
The rap
Ugh.
is very cheesy and I wish it wasn't in it. Uh
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I think
Hmm.
it's hilarious how British people tend to take on they kind of either they take the two extremes. Like either they really emphasize their British accent
Yeah.
or they go the opposite and they try to do an American accent.
Yes. What is
Uh
that? I'm
yeah, very
confused.
interesting. Yeah, I don't need the rap, but I enjoy the rest of the song. What do you think?
This one is sweet and bright. I will say that the storytelling in the song is cute, but it is cheesy for me. It reminds like that first verse reminds me so much of Rebecca Black's Friday, where they talk about getting up for the day and preparing for it.
Oh my gosh.
Dun, 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 but I went there, get to the and that's cereal. Like it doesn't.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rebecca for being able to like come back and make
Hey,
amazing
she's
music. By the way, because
yes, that's right.
she's been disgusting lately. I love it. But yeah, this one for me, like, oh god, that first verse took me out almost. I was like, what is this? Going to the beach, la da 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 da, and get something to eat. And then like, I was like, get me out of here. Oh my god. The second verse though, it does talk about the negative thing that has happened before the trip to the beach.
Yeah.
I guess the breakup from the person that you met at the club. You're like, damn, it didn't work out. Okay, whatever. But yeah, I feel like it is nice in terms of like the sentiment, but it doesn't quite stand out amongst the stronger or more dynamic tracks. And like I
Yeah.
was already kind of out with that rap. Oh my God, Miss Congeniality, go off, sis. Woo! I'm not gonna lie to you. Talented group, beautiful group, gorgeous gowns, beautiful gowns. But like the rap that took me out. Like it brought the bar down. Like it was already lowish, but it
You
was
mean for
being
the song?
not for this. I mean, eventually, like the bar was like, okay, yeah, it was really high, but then the song was playing, and I was like, ooh, okay, how
Mm,
am I gonna get my score over this? At this point, I'm not gonna be nice with the score. I'm not gonna be nasty about it, but the song is
mm.
not
I will say the
good to me.
acoustic ones are better. Like I
Mm,
almost wish they just produced it that way instead of
mm.
kind of the super bright poppy way. And in the end of the acoustic performance, they added like a more kind of gospely outro
Oh yeah,
to it,
yeah.
which I much prefer. It takes it up and makes it feel more spiritual, and I
You're
think
right.
that would have helped a little bit. But yeah, I actually like the melody of the song, so I don't actually mind it. I would just cut the rap, so I'll give it an 8 still. So what
I
are you
don't.
doing?
I don't remember the melody of the song, so I'm
Oh,
gonna give it. It's not the verses, so I'm gonna give it a 7,
oh, okay. Oh, lower. Okay.
a 6.5.
Okay. Well, you don't just have to change it just because I said that.
No, no, I'm trying to be nice. I'll give it a 7. It's okay.
Moving on to Every Day, which was done by Kevin and Tony of Liberty X, John O'Mahony, and Michael Harwood. What do you think of this one?
Every day. There's a drama in this one that isn't in the others. There's desperation that Kevin delivers in that chorus,
Mm,
and then he goes into his head voice. Yum. Tony sounds like such a pop boy on the second verse. His voice is very much like what I think of a boy band, like
yeah.
lead singer, you know? He sounds tender in his solo parts. And then for the bridge, which I was surprised that he got, he really takes it home. I would say, even though his voice isn't as husky as Kevin's, he uses his voice properly to convey tense emotions. I think that's more important than having like a specific tone. If you're able to actually articulate with technique and yeah, with technique mostly, I think you can do it. Can Kevin do it? Absolutely. But if you have another guy who's absolutely good at singing too, let him do it. The girls' harmonies make the song sound more fuller and it adds the tension, I think. I feel like this is a solid track in terms of like they're more quote unquote angstier ones. It's solid.
It's solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
I really at the production. You've got, again, kind of the UK garage drums. You've got this kind of warping bass. And then, of
Yeah.
course, you have the dramatic keyboard strings. So
Mm,
there's just an overall intensity to it that I enjoy. And yeah,
mhm.
I love the boys' dynamic. They have the same kind of dynamic that
Yeah.
Kelly and Jessica
Jessica.
have.
Hmm.
Um, and Michelle kind of ties all five together in a way. Like she
Yeah.
kind of has elements of all five of their vocal tones, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love their dynamic because, like you said, they're kind of opposite in every way. Kevin has the really full, raspy, kind of soulful thing, and
Hmm.
then Tony has like the Nick Carter like kind of thing, that kind of like
Yeah.
nasally thin push that he
Hmm.
has. So yeah, I really, really appreciate that. And the lyrics tell a story too. Like it's more contemplative in the verses, then the
Hmm.
chorus is this full like confession and release of their
Yeah.
feelings. But then the bridge, he's like almost mad at himself for letting himself reveal his emotions and he gets kind of dismissive. Like it's very interesting.
Yeah.
And yeah, I agree with you. Then the girls, yeah, they add like a softness to all of it. Um, and their harmonies are so beautiful. And I love the way that they are given a moment to shine as the song ends. Cause then the girls are all pushed up and are then leading the choruses
Yeah.
while Kevin is then like ad-libbing his face off. So it's kind of cool. Like again, you still get to hear all five properly,
Yeah.
even though it really is just the two boys singing it. But yeah, this one's really good, and the tour performance is so good for sure.
Solid.
So yeah, I give this one a 9.
I like angsty. I gave this one a 9.5.
Ooh, okay.
Up next is Saturday, and this was done by Michelle Escoffery and Mushtag and Tim Laws. All right.
Mm,
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
This one is it feels a little undercooked. I think this is the first song that feels like filler. Like, honestly,
Oh,
I could see every single one of these songs so far that we talked about up until this one
yeah.
could have been a single. Like, even No Clouds, I think if they were going for the more kind of a younger children's television kind of audience, it would have
Yeah.
worked in that sense because the song itself, I think, is actually decent, right? It just
Uh,
depends on what kind of audience you're going for.
uh-huh.
But this one, especially that chorus, because I actually think the melody of the verses is decent,
Mhm.
but the lyrics are so basic. Like it feels like someone in high school or college just complaining about schoolwork and
Oh,
needing to
yes.
study, and they have this
Yes.
glorified idea of what it's like to be an adult and get to go to like to the club every
Oh
night.
my god, yeah. Yep,
That's what it
yep,
feels like because like
yep.
the lyrics, like I don't want to read no books and I'll make
Oh,
sure I'm looking cool and stuff. I'm just like, oh god, like it's just so cringy and it just feels not genuine at all. And then the chorus, like the melody is just so and then it doesn't go anywhere. Yeah, like move my body. Like it's like
Oop
okay, like that's
oops.
oh that's it, you know.
Oops.
Vocal blend sounds great though. Like we get this little acapella moment at the end, and the harmonies are there.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is one I'm gonna be honest. I have not actually heard the song in years because I skip it.
Oh, wow. Shots fired, shots fired. This is like a suburban girls anthem, small town, putting down the books and going to the other side to have fun, the other side of town. The melody of the song is okay.
Yeah.
The lyrics are not okay. I will say that I think that the slight key change toward the end was cute, I guess.
Oh yeah, that helped.
You
It
think?
helped. Yeah.
Um, but that's about it. Like the vocally edited ad-lib over the chorus, I thought was cool. At the end. But yeah, I mean, it's okay. I will say the clouds is no clouds is better. I would say that. So I think that's a little bit of a spoiler what the score is going to be this time around.
Okay, so what are you giving it?
6.5.
Mm.
Not
Yeah,
good.
okay, I'll match you actually. 6.5
Still good.
feels right.
It feels,
Yes.
it feels right.
Okay, moving on to Holding On For You, and this was done by Tim Laws, Fraser Hurl, Martin Prime, and Jessica Kelly, Kevin, and Tony of Liberty X. And this was remixed and released as the fifth and final single from the album in December 2002, peaking at number 5 in the UK singles chart. And the music video was filmed in Budapest in its like metro station and trains, I guess. Uh, yeah, so the final single off the album, what do you think of this one?
Okay. I can't lie to you. It's the most I've heard Michelle.
Oh,
We get a whisper in the beginning, her leading the second verse along with Tony.
yeah,
Jessica is taking on the bulk of the first verse and then the pre.
yeah,
Um,
and the chorus, yeah.
yes, I love her voice on like this more pop leaning song. I like it. The lyrics are so sweet and so honest. It's like talking about being far away from someone, being surrounded by temptations, but still wanting one person. Okay, it's called self control. People, it's called discipline. Okay, all right. We need to start practicing this. Okay, um, it's really sweet. I like that. I think the holding on phrase repeated really stands out, and also holds on to the idea of what the song means. Like it's a good song if you're far away from someone or if you're like at school or if you're in the army or whatever. Shoot,
Hmm.
if you're on tour as they are or they were rather, they can sing this to their loved ones. It's definitely a very sweet love letter to whoever. I will say the video was just okay, but tell me how you feel about this
Yeah, we'll
song.
get to the video. Yeah, the song is so good. It's
Yeah.
so, so good, and it's so unique as well. I don't think I can really name another kind of mid-tempo pop group
Yeah.
song like this, because even structurally, uh, like the chorus itself alone, like the chorus alone is actually quite interesting because it's not a super obvious chorus. It almost sounds like a pre,
Yes.
but then halfway you're like, oh wait, it's a chorus kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like it's very interesting, but the whole melody is so beautiful, and I love how dreamy the production is,
Yeah.
and the arrangement of the backing vocals and stuff just make it sound so full, and it's all just mixed very, very well. And yeah,
Mhm.
you mentioned Jessica. This song is made for Jessica's voice. It's
Yeah.
so smooth and sweet and vulnerable as well. And yeah, she also like she gets to do those holding on parts
Like,
and it
yeah.
sounds so good. It sounds so good. And then Kelly really takes it home like at the end. Like she sounds so warm in that
Mhm.
bridge and then she gets to do the final chorus as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is up there as one of my favorite Liberty X songs, I would say. Yeah.
Word.
But the music video, yeah,
Uh,
what is going on
uh,
here?
it was giving like magazine come to life perfume ad. I don't like it.
Yes, I also said it was like a fashion shoot or
Oh, you did?
something. Yeah.
I mean, it was okay. They never actually come together. Like, what are you actually holding on to? Except the smizes.
Well, except at the end when Tony when Kelly's in the train and the
And
door
she,
opens and Tony is just like creepily staring at him and
yes,
then
and she's
doesn't
like,
get in.
"What's up?" And like, come
Yeah.
on, it
I was like, "What's happening?"
was weird.
Yeah, I
Like,
thought they were all taking the train or traveling in
to get to each
various ways
other.
to get to each other exactly.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, like, what? That was so bizarre. But you know what? They look great. You know, when Jessica's, like, walking down the street and stuff, and when Kelly is, like, next to the waiting, I was like, "Oh, okay, you look great."
Right,
But
you look amazing.
yeah.
But what are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
A bit
yeah.
odd. And, like, they coulda just used the London Tube station. Like, did they need to go to
Ah,
Budapest for this?
it's in Budapest. Budapest, maybe they were doing like promo.
Maybe. Or they
Maybe.
liked the yellow chairs. They were like, "That's it."
That's so funny.
Okay, but yes, I love this song. I will give it a 10.
Oh man, I changed mine from a 10.
Oh,
Yeah, I give this one a 9.5.
okay.
Not that far. Up next is I Got What You Want, and this was done by Alan Glass, David Brandt, Mary Ann Morgan, and Jessica and Kelly of Liberty XXX.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you mentioned those strings earlier that was so popular during the 2000s. This goes crazy with it.
Oh my God,
It's like
yeah.
so many layers of these affected kind of like keyboard strings. Uh, but yeah, I love this song. I love the way the vocals are arranged and mixed. There's just so many layers and there's like octaves and harmonies and you
Mhm.
kind of get kind of different combos of them kind of singing all over each other as well. It just makes it a really fun listen.
Yeah.
And there's a sexiness to this one. Like, I think even just the way it's written, it's all quite low, and the girls are
Yes.
mainly just using their head voices as well. And then the way they're singing, it just sounds really confident.
Mhm.
So yeah, this one's a highlight as well for me. And I love Jessica and Tony ad-libbing all over each other at the end. It's so satisfying. Like this group, I love that all five of them can do ad-libs
Oh my
because you
God,
know I
yeah.
love an ad-lib. They
Yes.
take full advantage for sure.
Yes. It's like,
Yes.
please go off. Thank
Yeah.
you. I think this one, like you said, has brought back all that stuff. It's confident hip hop and it's hip hop inflections in it. I guess you can just say R&B. I think that the lines, "No need for shyness because it ain't rocket science" is hilarious. Because it's true. I mean, at this point, she's like, "Listen, what you trying to do? Cause I'm trying to do you, you know?" There's there is a drama that is added with the strings in the chorus, right? You know? It makes me think of a scene from an opera that takes place in a club. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like twerking to the strings. So yeah, like you mentioned, I think the lower register that's being leaned toward in the chorus, it just makes the group sound cool with such a melodramatic track, you know?
Mhm.
Because they could have easily made it really bright and they would have sounded like S Club 7 or sounded like Steps, but instead or their competition.
Mm. You've
But
only heard Pure and Simple, right? You've never heard the other songs?
I listened to some,
Oh, okay.
you
Let us
know.
know if you guys want us to do a hearsay episode.
I'll be nice. I'll be nice if it's good, but the ones I've heard, okay. I like the outro of the instruments. I thought usually outros with just instruments bother me, but this one didn't.
Mm.
So I think I liked all of it all together. It made me go oof 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 ooh ooh. So yeah, I'm into it.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I give this one a 9.
Oh, I'll give this one an 8.5.
Okay.
Yes.
Moving on to Feel the Rush. This was done by Henrik Anderson, John McLaughlin, Martin and Kellius, and Steve Dewberry.
Dewberry. What a name. All
Yes.
right. So this song is interesting. I feel like this one feels like the perfect pop song. It would have been interesting. And see, the thing is with me, I don't want to keep like poop talking hearsay. Um, but this would have been an interesting release in terms of like their competitors because hearsay was releasing a little bit more brighter of a
Yeah.
sound and more pop leaning stuff. So
Yeah.
this would have been an interesting kind of like what you got. Who got the best pure pop sound, bro? You know? So this is not me pooping on them, so don't be mad, y'all. The song has an undeniable catchiness. Um, like I could hear Britney singing it, like without a doubt, or another girl group, or even Backstreet without Nick. You know, I could hear them
Mm.
singing it, and I think that's good. It definitely sounds like something that was popular out here, in the US. So I think that's also why I kind of leaning toward liking it a little bit more. But yeah, I like this one. I like it a
Hmm.
lot.
Yeah, talk about single potential. This
Yeah.
had so much potential.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. I even remember back when I first heard this album when I was what, like 12. This was up there. This was one of my absolute favorites.
Huh.
For sure, and it still
Ah.
is. It
Yeah.
still is. Because
Cool.
yeah, there's such a good energy to it. There's a push, right? Like
Yeah.
they are in a genuine rush to make this person feel the rush, almost,
Yes.
which I love. And yeah, just like again, just a great example of good pop writing. Like there's so many little hooks in there, na 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 na, which only happens
Yeah.
like a few times in the song, but then you already know it. Like from the second it starts, you get
Mhm.
the I like leading
Yeah,
into the
tonight, night,
chorus.
night.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
these are just like I mean, yes, these types of hooks are used in so many pop songs, but there's a reason. They're
Duh.
just so
Hello.
catchy and they work.
Hello.
Yes. And I love that Michelle and Tony
Yeah.
get to shine a bit more in this one
Yes.
as well, because they are shafted a little bit more compared to the other three.
Yeah, they are.
Not a ton, not a
No,
ton. Like the vocal distribution overall is quite good with this group. But you want to give
a
everyone their
little bit.
moment.
A little bit,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I love the tour performance for this too, because it is. It's just like it's such a good track that really it's hard not to have your heart beat like go up a little bit.
Yeah, to kinda get
Yeah.
into it. Yeah.
Yeah. So this one's also a 10 for me.
Yeah, I gave this one a 10 as
Dang,
well.
so many tens on this album.
Yeah, that's crazy. Are we doing too much? No, never
No.
enough. No. Up next is Right Here, Right Now. And this was done by Andrea Ramonda, Michael Harwood, Nick Keynes, John Mahoney, and Kevin and Tony of Liberty X.
Yes. Another Kevin and Tony co-write here.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the vibe of this one a lot. It brings back the UK garage kind of elements, but at this time it's a bit brighter, so it's a bit more warm compared to some of the other ones. And the vocal dynamic again is what really elevates it. You have Kevin kind of leading the majority of it, right? He leads the
Mhm.
chorus, and again you get kind of all these little combos of duos and trios and stuff singing harmonies and having different moments.
Yeah.
And the chorus is very, very easy to sing along to. I think because it's quite not slow, like it's just dragged out. Right here,
Yeah.
right now. Like it's like
Yeah.
so easy to catch on to.
Yeah.
Uh, and again, it's those ad libs, man. Those ad libs are so good. They switch it up. Jessica gets a moment, Kelly gets a
Mhm.
moment. I'm here for it.
I'm here for
The
it.
song's great. It's fun.
Yeah, it brought back the, garage sound that, the other singles or that sound the other tracks were kind of, like, stepping away from, so it kind of ties it back what was happening into the beginning of
Mhm.
the song I mean, beginning of the album, excuse me.
Yeah.
It feels kinda ballad-ish, but not too, like, dragged out. So I get what you're saying about, like, the kind of the mid-tempo situation that's going on.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, at this point like you said, it's nice to hear other people's voices, and let them kind of shine. But really, there really has been a great deal of complementary vocal distribution, and I think that's really important. Like, yeah, there's multiple members in the group, like who sounds good where, and it feels like there's a lot of thought put into it. Um, I will say that whoever is picking who's going where, everyone understands the assignment and they know emote very well. I would say like Kevin's pre-hook head voice moment and in the chorus are standouts.
Mm,
moments for me. But yeah, I like the lyrics of this one. That it makes this song makes healthy relationships sound cool, you know? And I feel like this song, it feels like the enthusiastic response to holding on to you that the album needs. Because when you have like kind of like sad-ish songs, it's
mhm.
good to have something to follow up that doesn't sound exactly the same, that could almost serve as like a response or as like similar emotion.
Yes.
You know, it's important to have those kind of things. So I feel like this one definitely executes that very well, very well.
Okay, so I will give it a 9.
Ooh! Okay, I'll match you. I'll match you. I'll match
Okay.
you.
Okay, next we have Dream About It, which was
Dream
done
about it.
by Fraser Hurl, Tim Laws, and all 5 members of Liberty X.
Yes. So are we gonna go in or just stand outside all night? Is that Michelle? 'Cause that's hilarious.
It is.
She's
Yeah.
so funny. She's so sassy. The girls are back, honey, and they're taking charge.
Yes.
Like, hello, are we here to dance? We are here to dance. So let's do that. I'm not here. I'm not looking for anything serious. What are you doing? Get out my face. And
Mm,
I like not get out my face, but like serve your purpose. Know your
yes.
place. There we
Yes,
go.
that's what it is. Serve your purpose.
Know your
That's what it
place.
is.
I'm trying to bump and grind with my body to the beat. Okay, not in between the sheets. All right. Um, I love how the song is written, and I especially appreciate how the beat stops when Kelly says that she doesn't want to stop. I think things like that make songs even better because you want to have a songwriter understand what the music's doing and be complimentary to it and supplement the song with creative moments like that. The girls' harmonies sound so good. Um, and I love how it sounds in my ears, especially on the second verse. There's panning that's happening left and right, left and right. That's so interesting. Again, when you're listening to it on headphones or even in your car or wherever you're listening to it at that time, what 2002, it's
Mhm.
nice to be able to hear something like this and kind of be like, "Oh, what was that?" It tickles a part of your brain, it tickles your ear, um, it keeps you engaged with what's happening with the song. The bridge harmonies are fire, and then we get a synth solo. I would say that this song isn't like anything else on the album,
Yeah.
which makes it something fun to listen to, but also it's very good.
Yes.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. It leans on the more mature side, I would say, of
Yeah.
the album. Uh, and yeah, it's another one that you could see like a Danity Kane or
Oh,
something singing
yeah.
this song. But
Yeah.
because we have 2 boys here, then we get I love the way the boys are used because
Yeah.
you just get a different angle. Like the boys are completely not aware that the girls are not thinking about any future,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, like she dreams about me."
She wants me, boy. She wants me,
Yeah, she
dog. She
wants
wants me,
me.
dog.
And I love that. And then they sound so good. Like just in
Yeah.
those 4 lines. They only get those 4 lines that they repeat over and over again.
Yeah.
And the harmonies are so, so good. So I just love that whole dynamic. It's just fun storytelling. And again, it just takes full advantage of the fact that you have both
Mhm.
girls and boys to work with
Yeah.
here. But yeah, of course, this is the girls' song for sure. They balance the sexiness, the sassiness
Yes.
so well. I do wish it didn't fade out because you actually can hear
Oh.
Jessica doing this little post-chorus sexy moment, and then we never hear the end of it. We hear like 3 of the 4 lines, I think,
Yeah.
and then it just fades away. So
Yeah.
it's unfortunate.
You know what? It leaves you wanting more,
It does.
you
It does. I
know?
love this one. This one's a highlight on the album for me.
Y Yeah, same. I give this one a 10. I like this one a lot.
Ooh. Oh, it's so hard. I will go 9.5 because I do prefer a few. I prefer a few of the others just a little bit more.
Oh, that's so valid. I don't
Yes.
blame you. Ay, 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 ay. All right, y'all. Oh, we are at well, already, jeez Louise,
I
we are
know.
at the final track of this album. If you made it this far, duh, subscribe. Duh, what are you doing?
Mhm.
Duh. Uh, and also leave your comments. Let us know what scores you give each of these songs as well, guys. Okay. So yeah, here we are. Last track, Never Give Up. And it was done by Michael Harwood, John O'Mahony, Jessica, Kelly, Kevin, and Tony of Liberty XXXXX.
Yes.
With the echo effect.
um, yeah, so this is interesting. It's an outro. I'm glad
Mhm.
they used it as an outro rather than an intro,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
Because they kind of just were like, you know what? our music is awesome and we're going to let it speak for itself. And
Yeah.
now that you've heard the whole thing and see how amazing we are,
Yes.
we're now going to tell you our story of resilience,
I'm in tears because
essentially,
literally,
and our
yes.
fight against like the people who were so mean to us after we lost the pop stars.
Oh my God. Yeah.
But yeah, the production reminds me a lot of kind of the Swedish, Backstreet Boys in sync stuff.
Yeah.
That came, the few years before. And
Yeah.
it's interesting how the start of it is actually the most intense, and then the beat kind of just falls away, and you get this kind of ethereal kind of
Hmm.
situation. And it slowly just like the production gets less and less until it becomes a cappella. Like I find that very interesting because it just goes
Yeah.
against the general like pop structure, I
Yes.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, great harmonies here, of course. And I appreciate that they didn't try to just drag it out into a full song. They were like,
Yes.
we can say what we need to in one verse. Like, here we go.
I'm in tears. This is like what I would consider a proper outro for sure.
Yeah.
Um, this one has like I like the pop sound with the flair of rock guitars. I don't want to call it like pop rock, but there is like a rockish kind of sound.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I appreciate it. It's a challenge. It's bold. It's also a statement about them as a group. So it has all this. We've been looked down upon, but also watch me work.
Yeah.
Hold my beer. We're about to hit you guys with another good album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think this is a good ending for a song, and I like that it's not too long either. Because honestly, like, what more can you say? Like, the album's
Yeah.
already really good, and for
That's
you to
right.
sit there and have a sob story at the end, like, okay,
Yeah.
it would have been too much. So I
Yes.
think it was succinct enough to convey their emotions and their thoughts behind the whole process. And yeah, it was good.
It
Solid.
was good. So yes, I give it an 8.
Yes, I would also give this an 8.
Okay.
All
Oh
right.
man, so that's the end of the standard album
Mm,
release. There
yeah.
are so many B-sides off of
Yes.
this album, and that's because they released it in Japan first, and the track
Mm,
listing was a bit different.
yeah.
And there, of course, with all the different singles, they all had multiple B-sides. So, since
Mm,
this is our first Liberty X episode, we weren't entirely sure of the demand.
yeah.
So, you need to let us know if you want us to do more Liberty X. We could do the B-sides of this album. We have 2 more albums as well. So,
Yeah.
definitely give us some love. Let us know you want more. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so before we end the episode, we're at our cut or keep section. So, this is where we have to choose one song to cut from the album. And if you're only allowed to keep one song, what would it be?
Oh
So,
God.
let's do a cut because I think I know what it is for both of us, actually.
Oh yeah.
Um, I mean, maybe you'll surprise me, but I will choose Saturday. Like I
Oh
said, I
yeah. Me
forgot it
too.
even existed.
No, me too.
Yeah.
Actually, like No Clouds, as cheesy as I think it is,
It has a place, I think, on the album. No
I'm not sure about
Clouds.
a place, but I like it more than Saturday. Someone's gonna drag me in the comments.
Oh man, I will say,
Yeah.
mentioning the B-sides, there's some really good B-sides. So
Ooh.
why did Saturday make it onto the album when these did not?
You
Please
know,
explain.
that's a good question. I would like to know myself. But I
Yes.
agree. Saturday, Sabado gotta go.
Hmm. Yes. Okay, and to keep.
Mm,
Oh God. Okay, I
yeah.
won't choose a single because
Okay.
otherwise it'd be just a little, obviously.
Yes.
Um, I will go with.
Oh,
I'm like looking at this track list, like, oh no. I love this album. I think it's one of the best British pop albums ever.
yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm looking too.
I
Okay.
know.
Damn.
Okay, oh my God, I could pick so many of these,
I
but
know.
I will go with Feel the Rush.
Oh, dang it.
Yeah,
That's a good one.
I never
Okay.
get bored of it.
That's a good one. Okay, now you called it. Okay. Um, excuse me. You know what? Because it appeals to my R&B sensibilities, I will give it to Every Day. I think that one.
Ooh.
I would keep that one. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd take
Okay.
that one.
Love that. Shout out to Kevin and Tony. Good
Yeah.
song.
Yeah.
Okay. So you weren't too familiar with this group until like a few weeks ago, basically.
True that. Yeah.
So what do you think of this album? And yeah, what are your impressions of Liberty X?
You know, I'm trying to think. I don't I remember us talking about Liberty X maybe like
Yes.
years
I
ago.
think I showed you just a little, probably. It's like a rite of passage to be my friend.
I'm in tears. That's hysterical. Um, I do remember the canes,
Yeah.
the pimp sticks, so that worked. But yeah, no, I think this is a solid album. I think it's probably one of the better albums I've heard in terms of like writing, vocal distribution, um, melody. I think it's a solid album. Um, I really don't understand why I did not know about it, but I'm glad I do now. But, I think I only knew, Thinking It Over because of the garage sound. I really liked UK garage, for, like, early 2000s, like, early 2010s, I was into it. But, yeah, I think it's a solid album by a solid group. It does kind of make me wonder what happened in the second album because I remember you telling me, like, things kind of went a little south for them in the second album. A sophomore slump kinda came
Quality
down.
wise, I would say that album is very good.
No, no, I meant in terms of
Yeah.
attention and, like, appreciation of it.
Yeah, popularity wise, they dipped a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
stinks. I feel like they're a solid group. They deserved more. That's what I will say.
Yeah.
Yeah, they deserve more.
Yeah. I mean, I said it earlier. I do
Mhm.
think it's one of the best albums of that era and
Yeah.
of those groups. Like I genuinely can say like 90% of this album could have been a single.
Mhm.
That's how strong it is. And they
Mhm.
established their identity so well. And like you said, maybe it is because they co-wrote the majority of
Hmm.
the album. Like
Hmm.
it feels so genuine and you get to
Yeah.
hear all five of them so well and the chemistry and blend is so unique.
Yeah.
You know, there's no other co-ed group that has done this way of writing.
Yeah,
And
I
I still
agree.
can't believe that no one has tried to emulate it more, actually.
It's weird. It's
Yeah.
weird. It's super
Yeah,
weird.
but Liberty X fully deserves their flowers.
Yeah.
Like, I think even now, everyone remembers Just a Little, of course,
Mhm.
but there's so much more to their discography.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping they one day get a kind of Sophie Ellis Bextor moment
Oh,
where
yeah,
one of their
yeah.
songs gets put in a movie or something, and they're
Right.
given a moment because they really deserve it. I think.
Some
Yeah,
attention for that. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, as an album, I will give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, you know what? Let me think about my scores. I gave kind of threw a 6 in there. Um,
Yeah, if I got to replace Saturday with a B-side and add another 1 or 2 B-sides, it'd be a 10, I think.
that's valid.
Yeah.
Dang it. All right. Considering it's the first album,
Yeah.
and I like it this much, I will. You know what? I'll match you. I'll give it a 9. I'll give it a 9. Yeah. Saturday be
Okay.
damned.
And no clouds for you a little bit.
Oh God. Ooh.
Yes. Okay, so fans, what do you all think about the Liberty X debut album? Let us know in the comments and let us know if you want more Liberty X from our show or if there's other artists you want to hear us talk about. Definitely let us know. And if you want
Word.
priority choice, you can join us at Patreon on patreon.com/CCTVPops. We're also on social media at CCTVPops. So for now, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show on a podcast platform, please give us a follow, rating, and review. Until
Yes.
next time, that's Chantel,
That's good.
signing off from CCTV, the nonstop pop show.
Sexy. Everything about you so sexy.
Baby, here